welcome to another episode of Girl Talk. As you can see, this is a pretty chill episode. I decided to film from this spot on my bed just because it's Girl Talk. We're just chilling, we're gabbing. Y'all can get to know me. So I'm just sitting in bed. But yeah, I've tried to get a good setup. I got my desk lamp, trying to reflect, and got my salt lamp over here. But yeah, the vibes are good. I actually tried to record this video already, but it didn't record all of it, so I ended up yapping for a long time, and it didn't record. But I'm happy to yap again. But yeah, so today we're gonna be talking. It's just me. I'm not bringing any guests on or anything, but I'm gonna be talking about one of my favorite things ever. Sorry, you can hear my cat in the background. Hopefully he'll come join us. But I'm gonna talk about one of my favorite things ever, and that is reality television programs. I think they are just amazing, so good. To nerd out for a second, I'm a sociology student, and I think that they are a very rich source for sociology to talk about stuff. I mean, first of all, it's just human drama. I mean, it's awesome. But then think about what goes on behind a reality TV show, what things does it perpetuate? Man, it's great. I think I'm actually taking a class, a sociology / women studies class right now, and I think I'm writing it about femininity and in reality TV, but maybe I'll touch on that later. But yeah, I really wanted to record this too because I just finished Love Island All Stars, which is super fun. It's UK. I don't know if any Love Island fanatics out there, but I really did want to start talking about, sorry, I have my list of shows on here, but I really did want to start talking about Love Island because, I mean, really just one of my top 3 reality TV shows for sure. I mean, definitely, again, the UK version, been watching that for a long time. I started watching it, I think my sophomore, freshman year of high school. I'm a junior in college now. But yeah, really good show. I mean, I've watched all the seasons. I rewatched a few of them, but not completely, because it is kind of hard to rewatch. It's definitely more fun on the first watch, or especially when it's coming out and you're watching it and it's so exciting to watch it. But it comes out every single day. For anyone who doesn't know about Love Island, it's a UK British show, dating show. I'm sure you've heard of it, but I mean, it's just I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a bunch of single people on an island, and basically they all have to couple up by the end of the week, or they get dumped off the island. That's the idea. And they do games and stuff. But yeah, so they did 10 seasons of it, 10 regular seasons, and they're also they started in US, Australia, I think there's Sweden, Germany, France, I mean, South Africa. they've got some but the UK, I think, is the original one, and I think it's the best. I've watched a few episodes of Australia, and I've seen some of the US contestants, and I mean, we'll get into that. But yeah, they just did Love Island All Stars, and I just finished it. I think the last episode came out last night or maybe tonight, and I just caught up on Peacock. In the US, it's been over in the UK for a couple weeks, but they usually are on there when the regular seasons are on there for 8 weeks, and there's an episode that comes out every single day in the UK. So it's 60 episodes by the end of the season, which is crazy. But then this All Stars one, they just made it a lot shorter. They didn't do the big twist in the middle, and they just kind of changed the format up, and there was a lot more people leaving the island. So it only ended up being 36 episodes, which was kind of disappointing, but it was still a really good season. There was a lot of switching and twists and arguments, and yeah, I mean, lots of drama. So I think it definitely packed in a good amount of drama into the 36 episodes it had. But yeah, I'm a big fan. I don't want to spoil Love Island All Stars for anybody if they're watching, but I liked the winner. I was rooting for them the entire time, but I was really surprised at some of the finalists that made it to the end, for sure. But again, I won't spoil anything. I won't say any names. But yeah, I really love Love Island. It's coming out. I think but since COVID, they couldn't do the summer season, so they just waited and came out with a winter season. But then they just decided, fuck it, let's just do a winter and a summer season. So since then, they've been doing 2 seasons a year, which is really exciting. So hopefully they'll go back to the regular format in the summer, and I'll watch them at summer camp. Maybe we'll do some recap episodes or something. I'll have to pull all the homies together at camp and watch together, because that could be fun. But yeah, I'm a big fan. of Love Island. Always have been. Always will be. I'm a big defender of it. I'm always telling people about Love Island UK, and it's the best one. You have to watch Love Island. I'm big on that. But yeah, I guess I probably could talk. Ooh, I do want to talk about Love Island. I want to talk about the production of Love Island a little bit, because I don't understand. This has always boggled my mind. So I think they used to do it in Majorca. It's like where they would film it, where the villa was. And the first season or two, like, the villa is very, like, not branded. Like, it's just like a regular villa that they're all staying in. Well, a little bit, but like, and if you haven't seen Love Island, they all sleep in the same bedroom, like all of them together, which is so ridiculous. And it's like 21 to like 35 probably. I don't think anyone as old as 35 has been on there. Maybe on All Stars, because they're All Stars. But yeah, anyway. But they're all sleeping in the same bedroom. And in the first couple seasons, it's not like super Love Island villa, but since then, it very much is. Like, there's like neon cursive siding everywhere that says like snogging and like 100% my type on paper. Or I'm mixing like a bunch of different British accents together. Like eggs in a basket, or whatever the phrases they use, and whatever. It's got stupid shit on the walls, and it's like all neon, and they all have water bottles with their name on it, and like the kitchen is always the same. And so, but I know that they're different villas, because at some point they moved to once they started doing the winter seasons, they moved to South Africa. So my question is, what the fuck, where do these villas come from? Because I don't think that they're like building new villas every season, right? Like, that'd be kind of crazy. So I don't know, like, do they have like a set, like an interior set that they can just like snap into a rental mansion or something? Because last regular season, it was like, I could tell that like it was a huge villa and they were not using the entire thing. Like, when you looked at the inside, when it showed the inside, but they do like really brand the inside of it. Like, it's got the walls and everything. So I really am curious about the production behind Love Island. I wonder if maybe like in recent years, maybe it is the same villa and I'm like missing it in the past recent years, but I think they're different. Like, I think they do different villas, because they don't film in South Africa during the summer seasons, I don't think. I don't know. If anybody is an executive or producer for Love Island, please let me know. But yeah, I don't know. I really am curious about that. And they don't talk to anybody. Again, if no one's familiar with Love Island, like, it's like a surveillance state. Like, do you guys know I don't know why I'm asking, but the football field, like, cameras, or the soccer field cameras where they're like on a wire hanging above the field to film it, like, I think it's like that. They have like secret cameras, not secret, I mean, they know they're being filmed, but like security cameras everywhere, and they're just kind of like, they just use the footage from that, and they're really high quality cameras, but I also think they have like wires and the cameras floating like that. I could be wrong, but because they do bring in like some motion, but they don't, the point is that they don't talk to like a camera crew or anything. Like, they think they have an on-site therapist, but other than that, they only talk to each other. Like, they get a text from the production, like, they'll be like, Islanders, this person's going on a date, or like, there's a wall playing a game, or gather around the fire pit immediately, like, whatever. My British accents are great, but yeah, so they don't talk to anybody else. They can only talk to the people there, which is like super isolating. And like, I think they have like a crazy sleep schedule where they wake up super late, so that like most of their filming time is like, I don't know, it's like, I've heard, I mean, you can look up like Love Island testimonies or whatever, but they like, in the morning, you always notice they put on their sunglasses as soon as they wake up, and like, you're like, why the fuck do they do that? And it's because I think they like, to make sure that everybody wakes up and doesn't sleep all day, they like play really loud music and like just turn the lights up like super bright. But I always think it's hilarious because they wake up and immediately put their sunglasses on. Yeah, crazy show. There's so much to it. I could talk about it forever, but it seems like I've been talking about it for almost 10 minutes now. So I will move on to some of my other favorite reality TV shows. I would say, so Love Island's definitely my top 3. I would say also definitely my top 3 is RuPaul's Drag Race. And this is another show I could talk about for a long time. Season 16 is coming out right now, which is super fun. I've been keeping up. which I'll talk about my feelings about season 6. Actually, I'll just do it now. My feelings about season 16 are that I'm underwhelmed. And I won't go into any of the specifics because I know that not everybody cares about Drag Race, and so I don't want to isolate anybody. But it's been really weird. Like, I just feel like it's not as memorable. Like, the challenges that are usually memorable are just, like, not really. Maybe that's just coming from, like, this is the first time I've ever watched a season as it was coming out, so maybe it's, like, it just doesn't have that, like, it doesn't have the pop culture reference, like, yet. Like, it doesn't have any internet, like, you know, nobility yet. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's that, but also, I don't know, maybe I'm just, like, not connected as to, like, enough into the Drag Race world that, like, I'm not, like, on the internet as it's coming out, because I also usually watch it late, so I don't want to get spoilers. But anyway, I first started watching Drag Race last year. In May of last year, I watched All Stars 2 first, which is, I mean, it's kind of weird to watch, because that, like, came out, like, after the first 7 regular seasons already came out, but people, like, agree, like, people, like, Drag Race fans, like, agree that, like, that is one of the best seasons of the show, like, definitely one of the best All-Stars, definitely, I mean, I would put it in my top 5 of, like, all of the seasons, like, regular and All-Stars, and I think that a lot of people would agree with me. But anyway, I watched it with my friend Abby. Shout out Abby, love her very much, I miss her. And yeah, I watched it and it was so good. Like, All Stars 2 was so good, and I really loved, like, I think I already knew of, like, Katya and Alaska, and I love them, and so it was fun to watch them. And I mean, but yeah, it was a great season. And so I went back and watched the seasons that, like, the All Stars were on, and then I really watched them out of order, because I got introduced to it in, like, early May, and then I, like, didn't get a job or an internship over the summer when I had planned to, so I really was just, like, home and doing not a lot. Like, not a lot at all the whole summer. I learned how to crochet, and so I crocheted a lot, but I also I crocheted and I watched RuPaul's Drag Race, like, that was it. But I got really into it, and because I also got strep right after I watched the All Stars 2, and I had to, like, move out of my apartment while I had strep, so I was, like, locked in my room. All I could do was, like, pack up my shit and, like, watch Drag Race. Like, I, like, needed something to watch in the background, and I was going crazy, so I watched a lot of Drag. But so I just kind of, like, really kept with it. Anyway, besides the point. But I really was enthralled by it. I watched it a lot out of order because we have Hulu with no ads, and so they had a bunch of Drag Race seasons. I think they had, like, 2, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But they didn't have all of them. So I watched everything that was on Hulu first because it has no ads. And then I went back to Paramount Plus. I used my brother's subscription. And then watched, like, all the other seasons that I had missed. And so, yeah, between May and the first day of school, so, like, mid-August, I watched all 15 regular seasons and some of the All-Stars. So I really spent my whole summer doing that. And then I finished the rest of the All-Stars by, like, September, once, like, all of All-Stars 8 had come out, too. And so, yeah, I really, like, was on a RuPaul's Drag Race, like, engine. Like, I was on it. And then, I mean, I guess I loved it. I think, first of all, I think drag is so fascinating. Like, I think it's so cool. I mean, and it's a lot of work. Like, it's a really hard living, because these people have to put on a full face, like, a second body, like, a full face of makeup, like huge breastplates a lot of the time. Like, they have to tuck, they have to, like, put on, like, 4 pairs of tights, like, I mean, and, like, huge hair and costumes, and, like, I don't know, man, that's just crazy. It's really impressive to me, and I just think it's fascinating. And there are, like, the artistry is awesome. It's, like, it's a fun show to watch. It's kind of like watching, like, Project Runway, and we'll get into those kinds of shows later too, but, like, Project Runway, America's Next Top Model, but, like, fun, I don't know. And obviously it's, like, dramatic, and it's bright, and, you know, the songs are a lot of fun, and it's just a good format. Like, and anyone who, like my brothers will say this, like, my boyfriend will say this, and people I watch who, like, don't really watch Drag Race, but, you know, we'll watch it if it's on, or, like, you know, will listen to me talk about it, or, like, I love that RuPaul is just, like, the decider. She's, like, a dictator. Like, she decides who's in the top, who's in the bottom, who goes home. Like, there are judges, but the opinion doesn't really matter that much. Like, she can just pick, and at the end of the day, like, she thinks you won the lip sync, you get to say, like, so, and people say, like, it's not RuPaul's best friend race, but it kind of is. You kind of have to be RuPaul's best friend. Sorry, guys, changing the camera angle, let me know what you think, but, but yeah, it's just a great format. Like, the challenges are usually really well written. They, you know, they call back on themselves a lot. Like, they do a lot of self-reference. I mean, the pop culture references are great. I'll watch anything with pop culture, with crazy amounts of pop culture references. That will always get me. But yeah, it's a great show. It's really entertaining. I love meeting people who watch it, and like, because everyone like really has opinions. Like, anyone who watches it is so opinionated about it. So I just really, really love talking about that. But I'm not going to give my opinions on season 16 any further, because then I'd have to go into specifics, and that would take me a while, and none of you care. Probably. If you do care, let me know, and I'll tell you all my opinions. You'll do a RuPaul recap episode. Like, there aren't fucking enough of those out there. And yeah, I got really into, there's so much like content about Drag Race out there. You know, like, they do like the pit stop, what you pack in, like, I mean, a fashion photo review. Like, they do so much stuff. And like, do I watch most of it? Like, yes. And I've been watching Untucked recently. I didn't watch Untucked for like all those seasons that I watched that were like already out, because it just felt like a lot of extra work when I was like trying to catch up with all the seasons. But I am like watching it now when I'm watching with season 16. I'm like already watching, so that's been fun. But no, it's a great show, and I'm fascinated by it, and it's very fun for me to watch. So, Drag Race. One thing that I thought was funny, I talked about my sociology. I'm going to talk about this class a lot because we're talking about reality TV and all this kinds of stuff. But actually, on the first day of class, like our first reading, I won't like talk about it, but we went like, in the article it was talking about like appearance as a feminist issue, like how you look as a feminist thing. And it talked about how like drag race and Toddlers and Tiaras are actually kind of similar in the way they like do the pageantry and like the showcasing of certain beauty standards in a way, which is kind of funny. I'm sure, like, I can't really recall it very well right now, but anyway, I just thought it was so funny because Toddlers and Tiaras is also definitely one of my, like, top 3, like, reality TV shows, honestly, with Love Island and Drag Race, because, and I think people wouldn't expect that when I say that, but it is so terrible, but it is so good to watch. It's, like, such a guilty pleasure show of mine, almost, like, it's so bad. Like, the parents are absolutely batshit insane, but like that's kind of what makes it fun. And you just like really are like jaw dropped at like, you know, kids with like 4 or 5-year-olds with like flippers in, like they don't even have all their teeth in yet, and like their parents still get them fake teeth to wear so they look good in pictures, and the pictures are so airbrushed, and they're wearing like almost like not wigs, because they're not wearing like, they make wigs for tiny people like that, or not tiny people, but children like that, but they put enough hairspray in those wigs that like basically is a wig, or in their hair. Anyway, I mean, it's just a lot, and they like feed them Red Bull and Pixie Sticks, and I mean, wow, that is a show. And it's also, I love any kind of look into like rural America or like small town America, which is like where these pageants are happening. And I was just reading a book about pageantry and in the South and what that is like, and I could do a whole nother, my whole class is 2.5 hours long for that I read that book for, and like I could basically just record that and like fucking do a podcast. So I could like record my response questions if I like really wanted to talk about that, but I won't. I'm just a nerd. No, it's really crazy. Like, pageantry is so insane, and yeah, there's like research to be done about it. It's really crazy, and Toddlers and Tiaras could have like its own book written about it, and I'm sure someone's tried out there. But yeah, speaking of, again, my sociology class, part of like my show about reality TV, I really want to talk about The Bachelor, because I also don't even like The Bachelor that much. Let's talk about shows I don't like, actually, now that I've gotten my top 3 out of the way. And I could really go on a tangent. I mean, I could go on a tangent on any of these things. These are my special interests, guys. But The Bachelor, I don't like. I know everybody loves it. I know it's like, well, I mean, not everybody, but like the people who love Bachelor, like, love The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. And that's just not me. Like, it's fine. And I have to be frank. Call me Frank. But I like only... Sorry, guys. The wind. I have a door on my wall and the wind is like blowing it open. I'm gonna go lock it. CJ, take this out and post. Don't include this. Okay, I locked the door, so hopefully it won't like rattle. Okay. I was talking about shows I don't like. Okay, I know people love Call Me Frank, but I've only ever watched one season all the way through, and like I was watching it as it was coming out. And if anybody knows The Bachelor, it was Matt's season, and it was fun to watch as it was coming out. And obviously because there's like so much hype about The Bachelor and like people are always talking about it, like it's fun to watch it as it comes out and whatever. I get it. But then I started associating it with people that like I didn't really like also, so that's like not, you know, that always ruins something for me. But I mean, here's what I don't like about it. First of all, the most unrealistic thing to me is that a man would remember 30 women's names in one night. Because when he's handing out the roses, I'm like, how do you even remember like however many 20 roses? Like you remember 20 of their names? Like, I don't believe that for a second. Like, he must have, like, a little notepad or, like, some PA, like, whispering in his ear. Like, the names. Like, there's just, like... Come on. But, I mean, I also just think the whole thing is really insane. Because, again, like, this is also part, like, the production part of it. Is, like, those women, like... Okay, they have to wear, like, ball gowns. Like, gowns at every rose ceremony and, like, party and whatever. Like... all these outfits that they bring. And I guess this is true for like any reality TV show, I guess, but like I feel like especially The Bachelor, they're like always wearing gowns. Like it's not just like Love Island, it's like you have to bring like what 40 bathing suits, okay, but and like a 40 nightclub outfits, like whatever, but these are gowns on The Bachelor and they're expensive. Like, and then you come in on the first episode having packed for however long, for, what is it, like 10 weeks? I don't know how long, but they move really fast in The Bachelor, by the way. We'll get into that. But yeah, you bring however many gowns for the whole time you're supposed to be there, and then you get sent home first. What am I gonna do with all these gowns? I have heard people, like, boutiques will, like, give some out for free, if they know you're going on The Bachelor, or, like, let you, like, rent them, or, like, lend them to you for going on the show, or, like, they do, like, I'm sure there's like a Facebook group out there where like past Bachelorette or Bachelor contestants like swap with each other or something. But I do think that also the show goes kind of fast. Like they're supposed to get engaged by the end of it, right? Like, so I guess this is a point, but the ideal thing is to like get engaged at the end. And there's like no monetary prize, right? Like they just get engaged at the end. And it's like 10 weeks, is it not? Like, and they do like the honeymoon suites like week 9, they do hometowns week 8, like 8 weeks, like, and you've been dating fucking 20 other women. Like that doesn't, I don't know, like it also doesn't seem realistic to me that like in any other situation than The Bachelor that like this would happen, that like people would like go this far in dating that many people. Do you know what I mean? Like no one's ever gonna go meet 3 different people's families, like, and dating all of them at the same time. So it's like only The Bachelor that this works, and like that's why they get so confused. They're like, well, I have feelings for her too. It's like, well, they put you in these like purposefully like super romantic fucking scenarios, like that, and he's always, oh my god, like, it's always like they're going on dates or whatever, and the girl's always like, oh my god, this is so nice, the nice thing that anybody's ever done for me, like, you're so good at dates and stuff. And it's like, he did not throw this date for you. Like, do you think he planned this fucking carnival? Do you think he threw this carnival together? I literally saw, like, they set up a mini state fair, and like horseback riding or fucking whatever the fuck they do. Like, they're hot air balloon ride. Like, he did not set that up. Like, the production did. Like, you're fucking on ABC, girl. I just think it's so ridiculous. Like, and I mean, obviously, like, it is such a great show for white woman tears. I mean, that is like peak white woman tear show. I don't want to talk too much about The Bachelorette because I really haven't seen any full season of The Bachelorette, and like, I don't really have the exact same criticisms of it. But for the most part, it's kind of the same. It's just that, like, big groups of men competing for a girl is just, like, not as interesting to watch to me. Sorry. But, yeah. Anyway, that's enough about The Bachelor. I have my complaints about it. I was also, another show that I was disappointed in, but this one I actually had high hopes for, and I was disappointed by, was Too Hot to Handle. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, the premise of Too Hot to Handle is that presumably, I only watched the first season, to be fair, because I was disappointed in it, so I didn't give the rest of the season a try. But on the first season, at least, I'm sure it's different now because, like, it's an established show and whatever, but on the first season, they, like, thought they were coming onto a reality TV show about, like, just being hot and being single on, like, an island during the summer, you know, like Love Island vibes. They thought they were coming here to fuck, like, and to couple up, like, I get it. But they're not. And they find out on the first, so they get to making out, they get to, like, flirting or whatever. And then on the first night, they have, like, this robot lady, I think named Lana, who, like, comes out and is like, oh, actually, I don't know if she has an accent, whatever, I'm not gonna do it, but like, she's like, actually, there's a huge pool of money that you can all split at the end. But the thing is that if any of you touch each other or do anything sexual or intimate or whatever, you're gonna lose money. And like, the more sexual the thing is, the more money you lose. And I don't know how much it is or like how much they lose for each thing, but like, if you have sex with someone, like, that's the most amount of money or whatever. And so they're like, oh no, this is like Too Hot to Handle. And I'm like, that premise is hilarious. Like, a bunch of hot, horny people together, but they can't, if they fuck, they lose money. Or like, even if they like kiss, they lose money. Like, that's awesome. That's great. That's why I watched it. But then they turned it into like this, and there were some great characters on there, like in the first season. Like, it was bound for greatness. But then they turned it into this whole like sex addiction rehabilitation program. Like, they all had to do like self-love exercises and like, why am I addicted to sex and why do I need this validation and whatever. That's all interesting and nice, but like, they really bamboozled me. Like, I thought it was going to be a bunch of hot people trying to navigate being horny and like not being able to act on it. I was like, okay, that's going to be hilarious, but it just like wasn't as hilarious, you know? Like, it just wasn't. Although there's this like one girl who was like, fuck it, I don't care that we all lose money, like, I want to make out with these people. And so she kept like seducing people to make out with her and to like be the villain. It was so funny that she was like, honestly, looking back, I hated her then, but looking back on it, she like kind of saved the show. Yeah, but then in the end, spoiler alert, they all just split the money that was left, and like that one girl like lowered it a lot, and so they all like I think they all ended up getting like maybe $8,000. Like, that's so stupid. I was like, that's so anticlimactic. Like, what happened here? But so I didn't give the other seasons a try, but I know that people like it. I think it has 6 seasons now, but I mean, I could talk about Netflix shows and their inability to stop a show at the right time. They either go way too long with a bad show or they stop a good show too early in its tracks. So I mean, my Netflix rant could be a whole other thing. But I will say that a Netflix reality show that was really good was The Circle. I really liked The Circle. I think I only watched like the first 3 seasons, but there are 5 seasons. Like, I would watch the other 2. I just like haven't yet. I like don't always watch all of a reality TV show. But The Circle's really good, and it's like it's like Netflix rents out or this apartment building in Chicago, and everybody gets an apartment. Like every contestant on the show gets their own little apartment, and so they don't live with anybody else. They don't talk to anybody else except through the circle, which is like they get TVs all around their apartment that they can like talk to, and it's like an AI, whatever. It's like a social media platform, and so all the contestants on the show are in their separate apartments, and they can talk to each other like through the circle. But the thing is that they have like a profile, they post pictures, a name, like information about them, and they talk to other people with this. And then, but like the thing is that since no one sees you, it's like, oh, will you catfish? Will you play as someone else? Like the whole like motive, the whole goal of the game is to like get ranked the highest at the end, and like, or get ranked each week. Like you want people to like you, and so some people come in playing as, I mean, it's always like someone they know. I mean, I don't think you can just like use someone's pictures without consent on Netflix, but I hope not. I mean, I guess so, but yeah, so they like catfish is like their wife or girlfriend or like sister or friend or someone. It's always like a hot girl, because that's what makes you likable on the internet. But yeah, it's really interesting because some people really play them as themselves, and like people like will flirt over the circle and like build friendships over the circle. But then like each week you get ranked, like everybody ranks each other, and then the two top people become influencers, and then the two influencers like will meet together like in a separate group chat, but like they move up to like this room up top, but like they're like it's separated by a wall, so they can't see each other. But anyway, like they talk about, and then they decide someone who to block, which is like dumping from the island or whatever, like leaving the show. And so, but then the blocked person gets to go like pick any other person of their choosing to like go to their apartment and like reveal who they actually are, see if they were actually catfishing. It's really crazy. I mean, it's dramatic. It's kind of just like a crazy premise. There's some good characters on there, like great casting. The first season has really great casting. Yeah, and it's just fun. Like, I think it's because it's a little bit mix of everything, and there is like a prize at the end. Like you rank it, you want to be ranked, and I like a competition show. I definitely like a competition show. Like I do love, like a Jersey Shore, or a Floribama Shore even, which whatever. I haven't watched so much of that, but I really like the episodes I have seen, or Real Housewives, which I've seen only a few episodes of here and there, but I'll talk about Real Housewives later. But anyway, I do like a competition show. I love Survivor. Me and CJ have really gotten into Survivor, and sometimes we watch like whole seasons in a night. Like I've watched seasons in a weekend. Like I've watched a bunch here and there, but I mean, it's just a classic. I mean, I've never like watched a full season as it was coming out, or like really kept up with it, or do I know any of the lore? Like no, but every time I watch a season, like I get really into it. I mean, I think it's just like it's iconic. Oh wait, I just thought of a show, another competition show, but I meant to mention it in like the romance kind of reality TV shows. Before I get too much into competitive show, like other competitive shows, I need to say something about this show, because MTV knows how to make a fucking reality TV show. I mean, Jersey Shore, like Drag Race. Are You the One is a crazy fucking show. I visited CJ last year for spring break, and while he was like working all week out from home, like I just watched this show on the couch and like ate snacks, and which was fine with me. There was like I couldn't go to the beach. It was like red tide or something. But anyway, I watched this show. It's called Are You the One? The premise of it is that they go to like, it's like 10 women, 10 men, and basically before they come on the show, a matchmaker like matches them all up together in couples, but they come on not knowing who that other person is. They know that they are matched with someone, but they have no idea who it is. So they have to like get to know each other, think about who it would be, and then they like they go on dates and whatever. And basically like in like when they do a recoupling on Love Island, like every week or so or whatever, they do like a match ceremony where they pick the person who either they really like and they hope is their match, or who like they think they would get matched up with. And then they like put up these light, once everyone is like locked in, they like put up these light beams that are like however many matches they got correct, but they don't tell them who it is. So they just like know the number of matches they got correct. And so each week they have to like get more. If they don't get it by like the midpoint, I think they start losing money or something. But it's like $1 million that they all share together at the end if they get it right. But like they start losing money towards the end of it. But yeah, I mean, it's a crazy show. And then I think at some points they can like send couples to the truth booth where they like find out if they're actually a match or not. And then if they are, they get to like go off by themselves to like another resort and like spend time by themselves, which is awesome. But if they aren't, they like have to go back and find who else it is. But then sometimes they really like each other and they're like, well, we're gonna match up anyway because we like each other. But it's like, well, then we're not gonna win the game that way. So it's kind of like the Do How to Handle situation where you're like, just fuck you guys, I want to do what I want, which is always fun in a show like that. But yeah, it's really crazy, but really got me into it. Was I watched season 8 first, and that season, who CJ recommended it to me, that season had only 8 couples, but they were all like queer people, bisexual, pansexual, so they all liked each other. So it wasn't like 10 guys, 10 girls. It was 16 like pansexual, bisexual, queer people who like the match, like any matchup is possible, literally any single one. So it was really, I mean, it's a lot harder to do that. And also like, I mean, the personalities of it, there's a lot of like sex on that season. Like it was crazy because they had like a boom room. So I mean, yeah, it was like, just a lot of drama. I mean, obviously it's like MTV like show with a bunch of people living in a house together. Like it's gonna be crazy. But they do like little challenges and dates and whatever. And yeah, it's really fun. And I would definitely recommend the queer season. It is, they do so much worse, and at the end they have to like pull out analytics and like they have to pull out like math and like figure out like what the fuck is going on. So anyway, it's fun. I like that show. But okay, let me get back to like competition shows. So there's Survivor. Ink Master is great. Tattoo competition show. I mean, that's a good one. Watch that with my family. Oh my god, I wrote them down. But I talked about Project Runway earlier. I mean, I really watched like the Heidi and Tim seasons, but we watched those a lot when I was a kid. Or not like a kid. We watched them like in middle school and high school. But like me, Elijah, my mom, and yeah, we'd have a fun time with that. I mean, it's so creative. I think people who can sew are really impressive. And I love Tim Gunn. I mean, just classic. I mean, America's Next Top Model. We also used to run that, like, watch that all the time. I mean, so crazy shit in there. Like, the race swapping, the makeovers. I mean, they've gotten better, I guess, but I haven't watched any of the seasons without Tyra, to be honest. But I mean, we were all rooting for you. Like, that's a good one. I mean, it's just iconic. America's Next Top Model. I mean, so good. And I like cooking shows too. I love the Great British Baking Show. I mean, so classic. It's so good. The first time when I finished watching BoJack Horseman, I was like, all right, I need to watch Great British Baking Show and like try to get any of that out of my mind. But no, Great British Baking Show is great. And Next Level Chef, like Gordon Ramsay shows are pretty fun. Like there's that Next Level Chef where it's like the 3 kitchens, and it's like the top one is like the nice kitchen, the middle one is like the standard kitchen, and the bottom one is like a shitty kitchen. And they like start off with all the food at the top and then like move it down, and it's kind of like the people at the bottom just kind of get the scraps, which is like hilarious, I think. And there's like that prison movie that's like that, where it's like a commentary on social hierarchy, and it's like everybody at the top gets all the stuff and then everybody at the bottom gets all the scraps. So I think that's funny. But there's also just like MasterChef, which is fun. MasterChef is really good. I really like watching that. We really like watching MasterChef Junior too, because his baby cooks. It's fun. They're a lot more nice on that show. But yeah, wait. I do want to talk about the show that I did just start watching, and it's not necessarily a competition show. It is kind of romance shows, but I kind of want to end this this episode off with talking about like shows that like I'm getting into or that I want to get into, because I've already talked a lot about shows that I've already watched. So I do want to talk about Throuple to Couple to Throuple. Wow, that is a new Peacock original show that just came out. I think it's actually in the middle of coming out. But my boyfriend and I just started watching it, and We watched the first few episodes, and I thought it was gonna be stupid. We were just like, okay, let's throw it on. It might be kind of stupid and silly. And it was, but also kind of really interesting because it's exactly what it sounds like. Couple to throuple. They bring in 4 couples who have been together for like years. Like one of them is like together 9 years. All of them together for at least a year or 2, and one of them was even married. Like these are people who want to experiment with bringing a third person into their relationship, whether that means like a threesome, which like some of them have experienced before, some of them haven't, or like most of them are there for like a throuple, like actual like committing to another person kind of deal. So they come on looking for a third, and then they bring in like 15 single people who are also interested in like this kind of polyamorous relationship where it's like one base couple and then an extra person added on. Like they talk a lot about like that's one of the, I don't know, 5 structures of polyamory. I don't fucking know, but yeah, so everybody there is like down to be in a throuple. And so kind of like in Love Island or in Are You the One, they like match up with each other every so often. Like the 4 couples, it's so funny, they stand there with like a chair just sitting in front of them, and they pick from the single people, and they're like, okay, we want you to be in our throuple. And then the couples or the thruples, the 4 thruples, stay in like a resort together, and all 3 of them have to sleep in the same bed. And then all the other singles stay at like a Holiday Inn next door. Like they never mention where the other singles go, but they stay there though. They like are there for the whole show. I don't know if they bring in I think they bring in new singles, like new couples. We haven't gotten to that point yet, but I think they do. Anyway, so it's honestly like really interesting, and like they can swap out with they can like the couples stay the same for the most part. Like I don't think they can switch out the couple, but they can switch out the third person. But the whole idea is like, are you gonna leave here with a new person in your relationship, or are you gonna leave here realizing this isn't for you? Or are you gonna leave here realizing that you guys aren't even for each other? Anyway, it's pretty interesting, and it's kind of stupid. It is really stupid, but I'll probably keep watching. It's kind of fun. But shows I want to get into, I will talk about. I've always really wanted to get into Real Housewives because, I mean, it's a classic. I've seen a couple episodes of like random franchises, and I think like Real Housewives of Atlanta, but it's daunting. There's so many franchises. I mean, if I'm trying to recall, there's like, speaking of shows that have side tangents, speaking of shows that have a lot of spin-offs, talk about fucking spin-offs with 90 Day Fiancé. I think there are 19 different versions of 90 Day Fiancé, which is insane. I could do a whole nother one of these 45-minute episode about just TLC in general, but it won't. We'll save that for another day. Let me know if you want a TLC special girl talk episode. But anyway, back to Real Housewives. There's Orange County, Beverly Hills, New Jersey, Atlanta, Dallas. The Salt Lake City is new. Oh my god, I need to like pull it up. Add the list right here somewhere. Add the list of all the Real Housewife franchises. But then there's like also like multiple seasons of each franchise, so it's kind of daunting. Like, where do I start? Which one do I start with? I've been trying to like get on Reddit, but like Reddit r/Real Housewives. But I think I might start with New Jersey. I'm gonna try my best, and I'll let you guys know if I ever get started on Real Housewives. Tangent off of Real Housewives though, I really want to watch Vanderpump Rules. Also, that's Lisa Vanderpump. She was in Beverly Hills, I think. And it's a restaurant that she runs in Beverly Hills, I think, that's called Sexy Unique Restaurant, Sir, which is the funniest fucking name ever. But yeah, she runs this restaurant, and it's a cast of reality TV stars working at this restaurant. And you can go there and get served by these people. So it's kind of like an art piece. It's like an interactive art piece, I guess. But I really want to get into that. I've heard that people are really into it. And there was that really big scandal with like Ariana Madix, who like she got cheated on by one of the cast members, and they were like together for a really long time. I think they were like engaged, but he was cheating on her with like another cast member, and she was engaged to another cast member. Like it got really messy or something. I don't know all of it, but I did hear about it, and it made me kind of want to watch it. So I think, yeah, I don't know, maybe if I want to watch that, I should watch Beverly Hills and see Lisa in her prime. But I also don't know that I have to do that. But anyway, I have so many other reality TV shows I love. So many other so many other shows that I love to watch and talk about. So I don't know, I could do more of these, but I'm gonna probably end it off here. I don't want to go like up until an hour. I don't want to make you guys listen to me for that long. I'm probably ready to relax, take some sleep. I was gonna say take a nap, but it's nighttime, so I can just take a sleep. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any like reality TV recommendations. If you like the same shows that I do, if you have opinions, please. I love talking about how I feel, obviously. But yeah, I'm a big reality TV fan. I'll probably talk more about it, but yeah, let me guys know what you think of my reality TV opinions, I guess. Recommend some shows for me. And yeah, thanks for listening to me on this episode of Girl Talk, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.